Number 8. Starting without certainty. While everyone else is still color-coding their to-do lists, you've already launched version 1. You don't need group consensus or a fully approved blueprint. You just say, let's test it, let's try it, let's move. And strangely enough, people follow. This trait is identified in psychology as action orientation, a cognitive style where forward momentum trumps perfect planning. Research shows that people with high action orientation are more likely to emerge as leaders in group settings, even when they're not formally appointed. The brain craves certainty, and when someone starts moving with confidence, it signals competence to everyone watching. Leadership creates momentum when everyone else is stuck overthinking every detail. When you're the one moving first, even messily, you give everyone permission to stop overthinking and start doing. That willingness to act despite uncertainty creates an irresistible pull for others. Studies of successful entrepreneurs find that they share this exact trait. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They create them by moving. That let's try it energy cuts through hesitation and releases groups from endless planning loops. Number 7. Staying curious in conflict. Most people tense up the moment disagreement enters the room. Their shoulders rise, their voice gets defensive, and suddenly it's a battle to be right. But you take a different approach. You lean in and ask, what made you feel that way? Not defensively, not to trap them, just out of genuine curiosity about their perspective. This response is what's known as intellectual humility, the recognition that your viewpoint might be incomplete. People with high intellectual humility show better problem-solving abilities and stronger relationships because they treat conflict as information rather than threat. The amygdala wants to fight or flee, but curiosity overrides that hardwired response. True leaders investigate resistance instead of trying to overpower it. When you respond to pushback with genuine interest instead of defensiveness, you can feel the tension dissolve. The other person feels heard rather than attacked. Their guard drops, and suddenly they're explaining instead of arguing, and you're both working toward understanding instead of victory. This one habit transforms every disagreement from a win-lose standoff into collaborative problem-solving. People remember how it feels to be truly listened to, especially when emotions are running high. That memory creates loyalty that lasts long after the conflict is resolved. Number 6. Making others sound smarter. Someone shares an idea in a meeting. It gets ignored, dismissed, or lost in the noise. Minutes later, you circle back with, so what I'm hearing is, and suddenly the same idea lands perfectly. The concept wasn't stolen, it was enhanced. The original sharer appeared insightful, and everyone noticed. This behavior demonstrates social intelligence, the ability to read group dynamics and adjust communication accordingly. Research shows that people who can translate ideas between different communication styles are more likely to be seen as leaders. You're essentially serving as a bridge between someone's internal thought process and the group's ability to understand it. Leadership emerges from your ability to make others feel confident about contributing their thoughts. When you reframe someone's contribution in a way that helps it stick, you're not just being helpful. You're creating an environment where people feel heard. People start feeling safe sharing their thinking, which makes them more willing to contribute. That habit builds something powerful over time. People look to you because you give them confidence in their own ideas as much as the solutions you provide. You become the person who makes everyone else feel more capable, and people never forget leaders who made them feel smart. Number 5. Giving direction, then leaving space. Micromanagers hover. They check in constantly, offer unsolicited advice, and basically breathe down everyone's neck until the job gets done. You take the opposite approach. You say, here's the goal, let me know if you need anything. Then you step back and let people figure it out. This approach is known as autonomy support, a leadership style that develops people's ability to think and act on their own. Studies show that people perform better when they feel trusted to make their own decisions. The space you create isn't empty, it's charged with possibility. It says, I believe you can handle this. That trust becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. When people feel genuinely trusted to succeed, they rise to meet that expectation. They take ownership of the outcome because they had ownership of the process. They solve problems creatively because they have the freedom to find their own path. The breakthrough comes from what you choose not to do. By resisting the urge to control every detail, you create room for others to grow. People remember leaders who believed in their capabilities before they believed in themselves. That investment in others builds trust that extends into every future collaboration. Number 4. Diffusing tension without drama. The room heats up, voices rise, frustration hangs heavy, and the silence thickens by the second. While others join the drama or pretend nothing is happening, you drop the line that breaks the tension, perfectly calibrated to shift the energy without being passive-aggressive or dismissive. This ability stems from high emotional regulation, combined with social awareness. Neuroscience research shows that when someone stays calm during group stress, it literally helps regulate the entire group's nervous system. Mirror neurons cause people to unconsciously match the emotional state of the most composed person in the room. That skill to shift energy with humor or a grounding statement becomes powerful because it provides calm in chaos. And in those moments, people gravitate toward whoever feels most stable. You become the anchor that keeps everyone from drifting into unnecessary drama. It's a quiet skill that defines true leadership. People don't forget how you made them feel during stressful moments. When you're the one who can diffuse tension without making anyone feel stupid or dismissed, you become someone others want to be around when things get difficult. And that reputation can become one of your greatest professional assets. Number 3. Taking responsibility. The project flops. The timeline slips. Something goes sideways, and everyone's looking around wondering who's going to get thrown under the bus. Before anyone starts pointing fingers or making excuses, you step up. That's on me. I'll fix it. No drama, no panic, just ownership. This response demonstrates internal locus of control, the belief that you can influence outcomes through your actions. People with this trait are more likely to take responsibility for both successes and failures, and that ownership mindset strongly predicts leadership potential. Taking responsibility first, without being forced to, rewires group dynamics instantly. It stops the blame game before it starts. It shows everyone that mistakes are problems to solve, not people to punish. That sense of safety makes the whole team more willing to take risks and admit when they need help. Taking blame early signals integrity, the honesty people actually trust. It demonstrates that you care more about solving problems than protecting your image. That kind of character stands out, and people don't forget who showed up when it mattered most. Number 2. Speaking last in group settings. While everyone else rushes to fill the silence with their thoughts, you stay quiet, watching, processing, and letting others reveal their positions first. Then, when the noise settles and people are actually ready to listen, you speak. One clear and concise observation that rises above the noise. This is an example of strategic communication, the understanding that timing matters as much as content. Research shows that people remember the last thing they hear more clearly than anything in the middle. By speaking last, you're positioning your ideas to have maximum impact and staying power. Restraint in conversation is rare, but that's what makes it powerful. Most people are thinking about what they want to say next instead of truly listening to what's being said now. When you break that pattern by actually processing before responding, people notice. They start to wonder what insight you're developing while they're all talking. That habit creates anticipation. People begin to value your input more because they know it's coming from genuine reflection rather than the need to be heard. When you finally do speak, the room gets quiet. That's the kind of influence that can't be demanded or faked, only earned through consistent restraint and wisdom. Number 1. Staying calm during panic. The room erupts, someone breaks down, the plan is falling apart, and chaos is spreading like wildfire. While everyone else gets swept up in the emotional storm, there you are. Still, quiet, and steady. Not barking orders or playing hero, just holding the center while everything spins around you. This quality is based on something known as emotional contagion resistance. Human beings unconsciously mirror the emotional state of those around them. When panic spreads, they catch it like a virus. But some individuals can maintain their own emotional equilibrium, even when surrounded by chaos. That stability becomes a powerful anchor. When everyone else loses their cool, the calm person becomes the compass. People don't even realize they're doing it, but they start to orbit around whoever feels most grounded. They look to you for cues about how serious the situation really is. If you're not panicking, maybe they don't need to either. This kind of leadership doesn't require a title or formal authority. It's pure presence. The ability to remain centered when everything else is spinning creates a kind of magnetic field that draws people towards stability. They remember who kept their head when everyone else was losing theirs, and that memory shapes how they see you forever. Over time, these small choices shape how others feel in your presence. You become the person who brings clarity in confusion, steadiness in stress, and momentum when things stall. That's the kind of leadership people remember, even if they don't have the words for it. We explain a lot around here. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.